Hello, and welcome to the data entry portion of the Project Red Train the Trainer training. So, Project Red, it's a fun program to participate in, and it also asks that the trainers and the volunteers report the wonderful data that they're helping to collect. So, entering data, it's important for us here at Extension and the Central Coordination. We need to be able to see how many trainings you're all doing each year, where they are in the state and how many people you're engaging from year to year. And then from the volunteer perspective, we also, of course, need for them to be able to report what they're finding or not. So, reporting not finding AIS is just as important as finding them. So let's look at how that's done. We're going to look at how you enter your training data into SWIMS as well as how volunteers enter their monitoring data. So there are SWIMS guidance documents found in the Box Project Red folder. There's one that goes over the general organization in SWIMS, entering training data, and then one for entering volunteer data. So those are all in the box, and I'll show you where those are. So let's enter some training data. This is what you as the trainer will need to do. So first thing you need to do is log into SWIMS. If you or a volunteer does not have an ID to log into SWIMS, there is also guidance to do that on the SWIMS documents that we provide in the box. So yes, for you as the trainer, you will need to report on training volunteers that you train to participate in Project Red. So each of you should have a project assigned to you every year that's called citizen trainings that you will use, and it corresponds to the county that you're in. So for example, we can see the one for Adams County here. And then once you have that project selected, you simply fill out the form as you move down. You enter your name, the station fills in for you, and then the dates and times of your workshop, and then you can hit next. And then you just fill out the rest of the form. It's very intuitive. You enter your workshop location, be it Eau Claire River Boat Landing, the county office, here I have the Monona Terrace Convention Center. The workshop host, so that would be, Adams County, Polk County, North Lakeland Discovery Center, Beaver Creek, etc. The trainer's name, that's you. And then the training type will be Project Red, the number of volunteers or citizens trained, and then their names below. So again, this is really important for us to capture because it helps us know how many people are being trained each year. So that's pretty straightforward. You just hit submit on that one. And then for adding monitoring data, we're going to go over that too. And this is another case where each county has its own SWIMS project to enter monitoring data in. I can add those to your projects lists in SWIMS if you don't see it there. Same for volunteers. That's also all listed in the SWIMS guidance document that we are available here for SWIMS user support. So again, here's a reminder for all those documents in the box. We can see that there's a document here called Project Red Project Organization in SWIMS. And then in the training resources for volunteers folder, there's a document for volunteers that walks them through data entry, including how to get access to SWIMS in the first place. So, for entering monitoring data, again, each county has its own project. So if someone volunteered monitoring in Adams County, you would use the Adams County project. Some volunteers may monitor in multiple counties. That is totally fine. They just need to let me know that when they email me to set up their projects in SWIM. So I can provide the support for adding these projects to you as a trainer. And then in the training documents for volunteers on SWIMS data entry, they are directed to come to us at Extension as well for SWIMS training support. If you, as the trainer, feel comfortable doing your own SWIMS report, that's fine as long as you follow, these different organizational facets that we're outlining here. Otherwise, I'm very, very happy to be that line of contact for volunteers for SWIM support. So As we're entering monitoring data here, it's pretty easy. Just know again that if you're doing your own swim support, the volunteers have to have the project coordinator role in SWIMS to be able to upload more than one photo to a fieldwork event. So this is important if volunteers are taking more than one photo during monitoring. Most of them are. And again, I can help set this up and give volunteers all the right SWIMS roles, or trainers can if they're comfortable. So entering data, it's pretty easy. As you're in that project for your county, you just fill out your data collector name or names. The station will self-populate to be specified on the next page with GPS coordinates. And then we enter the start and end date and time of the monitoring event and hit next. And then you just work your way down this list. It should correspond with the data sheet pretty easily. You enter, oops, sorry about that. You enter the water body name you monitored on, the start and end lat and longs of your float or walk or paddle, and then indicate which species you looked for. Each of these species has a yes, no drop down that you can use to indicate if you looked for that particular species or not. And again, just make sure the volunteer knows that it's okay if you only looked for one or a couple of these. So if you didn't find anything, you would just hit save and return here. But to enter locations of AIS found, you would hit enter first ID number on the bottom in orange, which brings you to a page that looks like this, where you enter the ID number. The ID number just means like one through however many you found. So you might have one, you might have 10 if you did, an all-day paddle. So yes, you enter the ID number, the species name, the lat long where you found it, the estimated area. Don't worry about getting this 100% correct. It's just an estimate. And then any additional comments you have about it. If you have more species to enter, you can hit enter next ID number and do the same thing. And then when you're finished, you can hit save and return. Adding photos to fieldwork events of AIS found is really important to how data are looked at on the back end between the Madison AIS central staff and the regional AIS biologists with DNR. We know that this process is a little clunky, but please try to do your best with volunteers. Basically, you have to submit the fieldwork event and then go back and edit the event to upload more than one photo. This is where the importance of that project coordinator role comes in because volunteers with just the standard external power edit role will not be able to do this. There is a step-by-step guidance on how to do that in the box. I'm not going to walk through it in this training because that document is so detailed, but just know in that training resources for volunteers folder, there's a SWIMS guidance for volunteers document, and that walks step by step through everything, including adding photos. So I just wanted to make that quick and easy. Please let me know if you have questions or feedback on this process. My contact information is here, and I would be very interested in hearing from you how all of this went.